3 years ago, I quit my job to turn junk like this into art. Going from a hobby out of my bedroom and moving into a studio was incredible, but 3 years later it feels very small, very messy, and I'm missing the windows I don't have. So this year, things need to change. In a big way. In a big studio with big windows. It's time to design a studio I actually want to make art in. And I figured I'd take you guys along for the ride. I kind of cobbled my studio together over the years. I had no money, so other than buying my workbench, I got all of the furniture for free. With a lot of it just being stuff that I found on the streets. Which kind of shows. This time around, I want an actual plan. So I can get it set up in a way that really works for what I need. Unfortunately, I still basically have no money. So I'm trying to do it as cheap as possible. Which didn't really work out. It all starts here, the old studio, which despite being small, is absolutely packed to the gills with so much junk that I need to get boxed up and loaded into the van that I've hired to move it all. I feel like this is too big. I only have the van for one day, which in hindsight was a bit optimistic. I was also supposed to have a friend helping me out, but the timings meant he could only join me in the afternoon, so I was supposed to get everything ready to be loaded before he arrived. So far, this wasn't working out. This is taking longer than I thought. Why do I have so much stuff? Over the next few hours, I did manage to get a fair amount of stuff in, and once he arrived, we started to make some real headway. Oh, the camera wasn't working. So hi. Muggs is helping me out. Louis Muggs, most top commenter on the channel. I'm gonna put a little thing up saying.
Yeah, won a competition.
Yeah, if you comment a lot, then you get to be roped in to help me move. Despite the extra pair of hands, we were still very far from being done.
It's almost done.
Yeah. So fast forwarding a few hours. Fairly sure that I'm gonna crash this at some point, but we're actually on our way. Muggs, do you have anything to say to the camera?
No, I'm just praying we don't die.
Okay, alright, sounds good. And while we didn't die, this was about to turn into a car crash. I think the lift doesn't work. We got 20 minutes until we need to take the van back. Do you think we're going to do it, Muggs? That's not confident at all. We've got 9 minutes to get all of this into the studio. I don't think it's gonna happen. And after ignoring the various signs about leaving stuff in communal areas, we rushed to get the van dropped back off next to my old studio. Unfortunately, I may have rushed a bit too much.
For me, I don't really do cameos.
Alright, explain to the viewers what's happened.
Zach had a boo-boo.
Yeah.
He left his car keys at the new studio.
Mm-hmm.
And where are we, Zach?
We're at the old studio. So after the first entirely avoidable Uber of the night, we were back at the new studio and got started moving everything we had dumped in the corridors actually inside. I'm calling this the corridor of misery. There's so much crap. This was not fun. Most things were pretty heavy and it took a ton of tridge, but finally it was all inside. Got a bit of a water feature going on in there, which is odd, but what can you do? Right, everything's in. Well, there's still loads of stuff in the old studio, but oh well. And at least Muggs got his steps in. My attempts to save money weren't going very well. After paying for 2 Ubers, I got hit with a £100 parking ticket at the new studios because the van wasn't registered to me, and the van hire charged a £40 admin fee for the great effort involved in telling me about the ticket, aka forwarding me an email. Where's my money? We didn't exactly get everything in. There's quite a lot of stuff left, but couldn't fit anything else in the van, so it's just gonna have to be a few trips in the car, which I'm quite excited about, doing like lots of little trips over and over instead of just having one big easy one for logistics. It doesn't help that all this stuff is kind of the junk that hasn't got boxes, it doesn't really live anywhere. So I think I'm just gonna tip as much of it into the car as I can and slowly clean this up because I've got to get everything out of here pretty quickly. Got to repaint the walls. So yeah, that's going to be fun. So let's do it. Packing up all the final 10% of the studio somehow took even longer than the first 90%, and frankly, I was sorely missing the helping hands and van. I was also moving flat the same week that I had to do all of this, so was about as sick as you can get of the whole process. Eventually, the studio was returned more or less to its natural state, and it was time to say goodbye to what had been home to creations for the past 3 years, which honestly was actually pretty bittersweet. I wouldn't say I'd loved all my time here. Oh my god.
Fuck.
But there had been some great moments, and I was quite sad to see it go.
Okay guys, it is 6:15 and we are done.
Over in the new studio, with everything moved in, I was starting to get set up.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Almost as successfully as the last time.
Only dropped a few.
With all the work surfaces set up and the place looking like a bit of a tip, finding everything at home was incredibly satisfying. It was finally starting to look like a real studio, and a very big upgrade at that. But before I get stuck into the tour, there was one very important thing I needed to do. PCBWay have been a huge supporter of my channel and are a massive part of why I'm able to make these videos. So it seemed fitting that their plaque is the first thing to go up on the walls. From concept to production, they provide cutting-edge solutions covering hardware and software design. As their name suggests, you can easily create custom PCBs, including assembly with the components you need. But one of their many other specialities is CNC machining. They can manufacture extremely complex parts through their CNC milling machines, lathes, laser machines, water jet machines, and electric discharge machines to create complex shapes quickly and accurately in a wide range of materials. All you need to do is go to their website, fill in some basic information and project requirements, and you'll be able to get started with a fast and accurate quote. And with sheet metal fabrication, injection molding, 3D printing services, and so much more, they truly are a one-stop shop for makers and innovators at any scale. So a big thank you to them for supporting the channel. And if you want to build something cool, visit PCBWay.com. And that takes us to today. 5 long months later, and a lot of changes to show you guys. Really, I wanted to wait until this place was perfect before I showed you guys any of it, but perfection is the enemy of progress, and it's been quite a few months, and I would like this video to come out eventually, so I figured let's just do the tour now. And hey, in like a year's time when I've actually got it perfect, then we can do a part 2, so it's all fine. Anyway, let's get on with the tour. And now, before I get started on the smaller workbenches, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant being this giant piece that is dominating the entire workshop. It's basically too big for me to even get the whole thing in frame. There's actually 2 workbenches under here. The one that you saw me building a couple of times badly, and a new one that I needed to get because this was going to be so big, I needed it to span 2 workbenches. So we got one workbench over here, and then a second one here. So the whole piece just basically spans both of them. But once that's gone, then it'll be good. The whole thing's 2 meters by 2 meters, which is this massive thing that I built. I'm dropping my fingers. So I can't talk about it loads because it's not done yet, but this has been sort of taking up a lot of my time. There'll be some videos on it at some point, but this has been pretty challenging. So once this is gone, the workshop will actually have a lot more space, but when it's done is kind of anyone's guess. This pipe, we'll get to it later properly, but there's been some issues. One of the most exciting things about this studio was the fact that it has windows after 3 years working out of kind of a cave, more or less, which I was very, very excited about. But it turns out there is a slight drawback. This window acts quite like a greenhouse, meaning it's incredibly hot in here. So that's why I'm sweating. I've also put trousers on for this video because shorts just felt like a little bit informal. But yeah, it's pretty hot. I do have a window, which kind of helps, but honestly not that much, especially when most of the things I do, whether it's grinding or welding or burning wood, all generates quite a lot of heat, which does not really filter through the concrete ceiling. So that's the downside. And pretty much the whole world is on fire at the moment. So it's just been a bit of a adjustment period. But I think it's gonna be really nice in winter. I think it's gonna be quite lovely, quite temperate, provided we all survive that long. There's also someone singing next door, quite loudly, so that might make it into the video. We'll see. And now, obviously, the other really exciting thing about this space is the space. This is about 50% bigger than my old studio, which was getting really cramped. I mean, I have filled this place up with some more workbenches. There's quite a few around the place, so it doesn't feel like I've gained a massive amount of space, but it's meant that I can have a lot more in here. Yeah, the pipe makes that noise a lot, which is fine. But I can't film while this is doing this, surely, right? Fuck. Okay, it's not stopping. So it's been going for like 10 minutes. So I'm just gonna have to film this and hope that it's not too loud when I play it back, or maybe I'll dub it, who knows. But basically, this is a new area. This is like the fabrication zone. So first off, we've got 3D printer. This has been really useful for just prototyping some parts and things and stuff around the workshop. I've been building, oh my God. It sounds like there's a man pissing inside my studio. This is our wonderful 3D printer. So it's been really useful for quite a few things already, particularly stuff to do with tools and storage, things like that. It's great. It just means that I can prototype things really quickly and sort of make custom things for the workshop on the fly. And then this bad boy is a laser cutter, laser engraver. So this does a bunch of cool stuff. I haven't used it a ton yet. I'm still getting to grips with everything, but I think it's going to be a real time saver in some cases and also allow me to like create more complex shapes and patterns that I couldn't cut out by hand. So between the two of these, I should supposedly be able to sort of fabricate anything I want. So I hope you can't see my feet. While I did put trousers on for the video, shoes felt a bit far. Can you see my feet? Not even close to being able to see my feet, so just ignore that entire thing. But yeah, especially with the 3D printer, I want to work on making some furniture, things like that, just for my personal life. But I've also got some really cool use cases within the studio, like this custom tool cart that I've been working on, which can basically be just as modular as you like, because you can just move stuff around. This is still a work in progress though, but I think it's going to be really useful. And in terms of upgrades, when it comes to tools, that's where I've had one of the biggest improvements. Most of the tools that I've been using for the past 3 years were just really cheap things that I got off Amazon because I couldn't really justify spending the money, especially when, well, I didn't actually make any money. Which now means instead of keeping any of the money I make, I get to spend it on tools, which is more fun, but kind of equally as depressing at the same time. These also all run on the same batteries, they're all part of the same system, so it just makes it really easy to swap between different things and keep things charged. One of the reasons that I went with cordless was because this studio actually has a really bad layout in terms of plugs. The only two like plug socket areas on the wall, both at the back and the studio right next to each other. So there's no plugs on this side of the studio, there's no plugs down there. I've threaded some plugs all the way through here, but it's still pretty limited. So I just didn't want to be hamstrung by needing to actually like plug my tools in somewhere to use them. So I think it should be fine. I never use the tools for that long at a time, and I've got enough batteries here that I can kind of charge them up quickly when I actually need them. But these should speed up a lot of my work, mean that I can do better work. This angle grinder is so much better than the one I was using before. Same with the sander. So Makita, if you see this, loads of tools or like a small amount of money, anything would be fine. Even a small amount of tools actually, or loads of money. But yeah, if you want to, I am here and I am very open to offers. This area is pretty similar to how it was set up in the old, actually no, it's not at all. The workbench that had all my the new tools on it, that used to have this on it. I've moved this over to here along with this. The picture frame shouldn't be there normally, just ignore that. So that I can have both of these sort of my modification areas, my power modification. I need to think of a better name for the areas in the studio. Basically, I wanted to just combine these because quite often I'd be drilling and sanding and having to run back and forth between the two areas. And we've also got some very badly organized drawers in here, so it's just really good for storage. I can keep all the stuff that I need for those right there. Now, this is possibly one of the worst areas of the studio, the welding area. That might sound kind of dumb because I spend most of my time welding, and in theory, there's nothing wrong with this. It would be good if it wasn't for this. So the pipe that leaks goes straight onto here, which means at the moment quite a large amount of this is kind of off limits. It's been a few months, I'm trying to get it fixed, but I'm going to show you how much water it's actually collected in the time that's been going. Oh God, I'm going to pour that all over the place. Yeah, you can see. Oh shit. Oh. 1 second. Yeah, that's too much water. So yeah, that's basically the main issue with this this zone. Fingers crossed I can actually get this sorted kind of soon, because it does definitely affect my ability to actually like work and make sure this is all like fine, because I can't really trust leaving anything out near it, or also anything electronic. If that gets a bit too wet, if that pipe bursts or something, then I'm screwed. Arguably the coolest thing that I've got in the studio now though is this bandsaw, which was an absolute nightmare to get inside. But it's been like the #1 tool that I wanted. The problem is that in the UK particularly, it's very hard to get any that are actually good. They're either all like really cheaply made, mainly for wood, so something that can cut metal is pretty hard to come by. This was on eBay. I very nervously just thought, let's get it, and so far it's really good. But it is quite loud. So really that's kind of everything. You'll see more of it obviously when I like actually put out a build video here. I still haven't done that. I'm working my way through a couple of really long ones on the editing schedule. So once that's done, then I can actually start showing you guys some of the things that I've been doing here, which I'm really excited for. Obviously this is kind of a bit of a quick whiff around. I do have other plans for the studio. I want to get a wall painted, the green like my old one. I feel like the white is a little bit stark, but they're quite big walls, so it feels like a bit of an undertaking given how badly I did last time. That's the pipe. That's fitting for an outro, isn't it?
Honestly, the studio isn't perfect. It's not what I'd call my dream studio, but man is it a step up. If I can get the pipe sorted and figure out a way to keep it cooler that doesn't bankrupt me, then it'll be pretty damn close.
But thanks guys for watching. I hope you like the new place, and I hope you're excited to see what actually gets made here. So catch you in the next one. Bye.